Caitlin Clark gets her revenge. After being grabbed by Sheldon all night, Caitlin finally clapped back after being told you can't do that, telling Sheldon, I can do whatever the f I want to do. Well, later in the game, she gets poked right in the eye. Caitlin tries to stand up for herself, but she gets absolutely trucked by Marina Mabrey. And somehow throughout all of this, Caitlin Clark gets attacked, while Mabrey got to stay in the game after that blindside shove. After taking the contact all game, she hits a 3 right in Sheldon's face to put her team up 20, telling Sheldon, you like that? Saying you can't guard me. But it's not over, because with just seconds left in the game, Sophie Cunningham saw her opportunity to get some revenge, sending a message not to mess with their franchise player.
This crazy Kelsey Mitchell thing has gotten so out of hand.
The Kelsey Mitchell situation is just getting worse.
She made a comment diminishing Caitlin Clark's importance as the offensive engine of
these two players can win some games without Clark,
but Clark can't win a single game without them.
Caitlin Clark is the tide to rise all boats.
Y'all acting like haters.
Kelsey Mitchell's family came for Caitlin Clark.
Your family taking shots at Caitlin Clark.
And it backfired fast. While they spread hate, Caitlin let her game do the talking. Now Kelsey's in tears and fans aren't staying quiet.
Kelsey Mitchell had her best season when Caitlin Clark got there. Kelsey Mitchell became the most popular when Caitlin Clark got there. Kelsey Mitchell made it to the playoffs for the first time in her career when Caitlin Clark got there.
If you're 100% Team Caitlin, drop a 100% in the comments.
Caitlin Clark is the superstar of this team.
It all started with one viral post, not from a rival fan, but from Kelsey Mitchell's own twin sister, Chelsea Mitchell. In a shocking move, Chelsea went on Facebook.
Kelsey Mitchell's sister apparently commented on something on Facebook
and completely downplayed Caitlin Clark's impact on the Indiana Fever. She agreed with a post that claimed
Chelsea Mitchell, who is Kelsey Mitchell's twin sister, says, I gotta agree.
Clark can't win a single game without Kelsey.
These two players can win some games without Clark, but Clark can't win a single game without them.
And that the offense should be run through Mitchell instead.
She made a comment on someone else's comment, diminishing Caitlin Clark's importance as the offensive engine of the Indiana Fever, and saying that they should really be running the offense through Kelsey Mitchell.
This wasn't just friendly debate. Chelsea called Clark's supporters delusional.
Clark's delusional fans.
Steve Brown person writes on Facebook, Clark's delusional fans can stay mad and call me all the names in the book, but we all saw, including y'all, who carries my Fever team, and we all know who the offense should be run through. Whether you like it or not, these two players can win some games without Clark, but Clark can't win a single game without them.
Doubling down on the narrative that Clark was overrated and the team didn't need her.
They're coming out basically calling Caitlin Clark a role player.
And things only got worse. After her comments went viral, Chelsea deleted her social media, but the damage had already been done.
Kelsey Mitchell, her sister, went on social media and deleted her Twitter account after this post was released.
What was meant as a petty jab turned into a firestorm. Fans were stunned, not just at the disrespect, but at how public and aggressive the Mitchell family had been. Chelsea isn't some distant relative. She's a former Division I player who knows the game. So people started asking, if this is what Chelsea feels comfortable posting, what's Kelsey saying behind the scenes?
Statements made by members of her family, Kelsey Mitchell's, that tells you either Kelsey is having to listen to this from her family, or this is things they have sat down and talked about, or it has even been from her.
To make matters worse, more people in Kelsey's circle joined in. Friends and family reposted hateful content about Clark, including a disturbing comparison to Antonio Brown, an NFL player known for his erratic behavior.
Who has compared Caitlin Clark to a man, who has shared Antonio Brown's disgusting posts about Caitlin Clark.
This wasn't just petty anymore. It got personal, and fans across the WNBA were furious. And through it all, Caitlin said nothing. No response, no subtweets, no drama. She just kept hooping, while the Mitchell family made themselves look worse by the day.
Caitlin Clark is the superstar of this team.
These two players can win some games without Clark, but Clark can't win a single game without them.
While the Mitchell family tried to tear Caitlin down online, she didn't utter a single word back because she didn't need to. Instead, she let her performance do all the talking. Caitlin Clark went out and dropped 29 points, 13 assists, and 5 rebounds. Just days after the disrespectful comments were made. That wasn't just a game, it was a statement. She didn't clap back online. She responded like a superstar under pressure.
Kelsey Mitchell had her best season when Caitlin Clark got there. Kelsey Mitchell became the most popular when Caitlin Clark got there. Kelsey Mitchell made it to the playoffs for the first time in her career when Caitlin Clark got there.
No whining, no excuses, just pure production, and fans noticed. Let's talk facts. Before Clark arrived, Indiana had 7 straight losing seasons. Even with Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston on the roster, the Fever managed only 5 wins in 2022 and 13 in 2023.
You and Aaliyah Boston won 13 games last year, and that's the reason you got Caitlin Clark.
They were irrelevant, forgotten. But the moment Caitlin stepped onto that court, everything changed. With her running the show, the Fever became a legitimate playoff contender, winning 8 out of 13 games with Clark, compared to just 4 out of 11 without her.
The Fever are either 4-7 or now 4-8 without Caitlin Clark, and they're 8-5 with her.
The difference was night and day. The offense exploded. Arenas started selling out.
Kelsey Mitchell was winning like 5 or 6 games a year when she was playing in that barn in Indiana. She was playing in a barn and couldn't sell it out.
Merchandise flew off shelves, and national media couldn't stop talking about Indiana. All because of one player, Caitlin Clark.
Y'all was not driving up viewerships before Caitlin got there. Y'all wasn't selling out arenas before Caitlin got there.
Yet despite all of that, Kelsey Mitchell's family tried to flip the narrative. They acted like Kelsey was the real star and Clark was just along for the ride. But the numbers didn't lie, and neither did the eyeballs. Fans could see who was carrying the franchise, who was taking the hits, and who was stepping up when it mattered most. And while all that noise swirled outside the locker room, the hate, the petty posts, the comparisons to washed-up athletes, Caitlin never let it shake her. She kept her head down and kept making history. That's why fans didn't just support her. They rallied behind her because she didn't stoop to their level. She rose above it and lifted the entire franchise with her.
Kelsey Mitchell was a free agent. She actually came kind of close to not coming back to the Indiana Fever. She thinks she is the superstar on this team.
As Caitlin Clark kept dominating on the court, the drama off the court only got worse for Kelsey Mitchell. What started as a few shady posts from her sister had now turned into a full-blown PR crisis. Fans weren't just mad. They were questioning everything. Why hadn't Kelsey said a word? Why hadn't she shut this down from the beginning? That silence became deafening. In the eyes of many fans, it confirmed what they feared, that Kelsey might actually agree with the hate coming from her own family, and that made things personal. Social media exploded with calls for Kelsey to check her people.
Sorry for Kelsey, but she needs to talk to her family.
And publicly support Caitlin Clark, the teammate who had single-handedly turned Indiana into a headline team for the first time in years. But Kelsey didn't say anything. And with every day that passed, the trust between her and the fan base, and possibly even her teammates, started to crack.
Receiving massive backlash, with the fan base being divided between those feeling that if this came from Kelsey Mitchell's sister, then this is the way that Kelsey Mitchell feels.
People began to notice moments on the court. Caitlin getting fouled hard, knocked down, and no one stepping in to defend her.
She's been getting the crap kicked out of her, and teammates standing around looking up at the air.
No teammate rushing over, no pushback, just silence, over and over again. Analysts started asking the hard questions. Was there a real fracture in that Fever locker room?
This tells you there may be an actual fracture in that locker room.
Had jealousy and resentment from Kelsey and her circle started to bleed into team dynamics? Could that explain the lack of support Clark often got, even when she was getting targeted in every single game? And then came the bigger picture, the contract situation. Kelsey Mitchell is on a 1-year deal, and insiders have hinted that this might be her final season with the Fever.
Kelsey Mitchell would not be coming back after this season's over.
In fact, during the offseason, she reportedly came very close to not re-signing. With the team now built around Caitlin Clark, it's clear the franchise has moved in a new direction,
You want to play next to Caitlin Clark.
one that doesn't revolve around Mitchell. What fans found even more shocking was how much Kelsey had benefited from Caitlin's arrival.
She's gained so much from playing with Caitlin. Mitchell never missed a game, finished 10th in the MVP voting, played a huge role in helping the Fever make the playoffs for the first time in 7 years. This past offseason, the Fever signed her to a Supermax contract, making her one of the highest paid players in the league.
Increased media attention, higher viewership, endorsement opportunities, all of it came with Clark. But instead of embracing the spotlight and stepping up, her circle turned bitter, and that bitterness showed. Chelsea Mitchell wasn't the only one speaking out. Other friends and relatives began reposting content claiming Clark is ruining the Fever's momentum,
CC's ruining the Fever momentum with her.
even suggesting the team would be better without her. A laughable take considering the team hadn't cracked 13 wins in years until Caitlin showed up. They even compared her to Antonio Brown, a wildly inappropriate comparison that had nothing to do with basketball and everything to do with crossing a line. At that point, the narrative shifted completely. It wasn't just about family support, it was about envy, immaturity, and insecurity.
Nepotism happens because the parents overrate their own kids in a lot of sports. Nepotism. You can write off some of the things being like, look, they're just delusional towards their family member. It's the same with Alyssa Smith's brother.
Even fans who used to ride with Kelsey started pulling away. One viral comment said it best: "No one even knew who Kelsey was until Caitlin showed up."
Y'all acting like haters. These two players can win some games without Clark, but Clark can't win a single game without them.
The Kelsey Mitchell situation is just getting worse.
She made a comment on someone else's comment, diminishing Caitlin Clark's importance as the offensive engine of the Indiana Fever and saying that they should really be running the offense through Kelsey Mitchell. This crazy Kelsey Mitchell thing has gotten so out of hand.
These two players can win some games without Clark, but Clark can't win a single game without them.
Caitlin Clark is the tide that rises all boats.
Your family taking shots at Caitlin Clark.
Now the once private frustration had become a national conversation. Analysts were openly questioning whether Kelsey Mitchell's time in Indiana had run its course. She looked stressed in interviews, distant during games,
She was not at all diminishing Caitlin Clark's importance.
and her body language was off. It wasn't just the fans noticing, the media was watching too. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark never changed. She stayed composed, focused, and unshaken. Every insult, every shady post, every silent stare from teammates, she absorbed it and turned it into fuel. While others stirred drama, she kept stacking wins, breaking records, and lifting the Fever into playoff contention. By the end of it, it wasn't just clear who the leader of the team was,
Caitlin Clark is the superstar of this team.
it was undeniable. Caitlin Clark had become the face of the franchise, the heart of the locker room, and the reason Indiana was relevant again. And while Kelsey Mitchell's family tried to tear her down, all they did was expose their own bitterness, and maybe even bring Kelsey's Fever career to an early bitter end.
If Kelsey is sitting in a room with her family and this stuff is coming from her by way of complaints, venting, because you get with your family, you start venting, they start talking you up, you get charged up, then you go to work mad.
In the end, Caitlin Clark didn't need to fight back with words. She let the scoreboard, the sellouts, and the stats speak for her. While others were caught up in jealousy and drama, she stayed focused, humble, and dominant. And now, with the fan base firmly behind her and the franchise built around her, one thing is crystal clear. This is Caitlin Clark's team now. If you're riding with Caitlin through it all, drop a 100% in the comments and let the world know who really runs Indiana.
I don't get why more people don't do that. If there's like 3 seconds on the clock, why wouldn't you just launch it into the air? They can't foul you. The clock's still running. They can't get the ball. Like, I don't get why more people don't do that.